This year, I'm making it my goal and ambition to live a quiet life and being content in that. Cultivating this way of life first started for me when I found my word for my year of 2024, slow simplicity. In this video, we will be talking through about 10 habits to live a more slow life.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. This idea and topic has really been on my heart lately, so I thought I'd share about almost 10 habits or rhythms that I am really trying to implement in my new year, that I have heard from other people, tips and tricks, things that I've really been trying to meditate on and think about, and ultimately just have a more slow life. And I feel like when people think of that, maybe it comes with more of a negative connotation to it, but really I think it's a really good thing. What I've noticed already in like more of a slow pace of life is a little bit of less stress, a little more peace. And so I thought I'd share some things along the way that has impacted me and things that I'm really trying to work on. As my word for my year this year is actually slow simplicity, which I know is technically 2 words and I know it may not make sense, but I also did a whole video on this, pretty much talking about this word for my year, reflecting on 2023 if you'd like to check it out. But in today's video, I kind of want to dive deeper into that word, but how to actually implement it in any type of lifestyle, things that maybe you could take home with you and do it yourself. I think also when it comes to the word slow, is quiet and still. And I think that's really what I've been wanting to implement in my own life, is a more quiet, slow, and still life. And these rhythms, these tips, you may have heard before, and they could be very repetitive, but the weird thing is I found myself finally listening to those key things and actually doing them in my life, and that's like what I want my whole new year to be about, is to really embrace the stillness. Because if you know me, and if you know me personally, it is so hard for me to slow down, or it's simply the added stress and the anxiety and things of that sort. And so I thought I'd sit here and share a few things with you that I hope maybe encourages or inspires you and helps you for the new year. So with that said, if you haven't already, definitely be sure to subscribe or like this video if you do enjoy it. It really helps the growth of my channel. And if you're interested in any of my other videos, they are linked down below, or you could check out my channel. Now, with all that said, let's just hop right into it. And the first habit that I want to share today is actually specifically in the morning, and rhythms that maybe we could take specifically when we wake up. So I know this can be a hard one. It's definitely a hard one for me, but implementing a no phone rule when it comes to first waking up. There's so much noise, I think, in our everyday life, and a lot of times my work involves being on my phone. I actually have a part-time job that's remote, which I'm so thankful for, but it literally has to do with being on my phone from like 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. and doing all this stuff. So that can really be a pain at times when it comes to being on too much screen time, headaches and such like that. And so if I'm already waking up somewhat around 8, maybe an hour or so before, and then I'm already starting with going on my phone, for me personally, it's just something that I'm trying to implement this year, because I already have to hop right on it by 8 once I clock in. And so, but I think it's something that we could all take from, is to just not jump into the world and jump into what people are posting, whatever it is, whatever app you gravitate towards when you first wake up. Not to say that is a bad thing whatsoever. It is something that I've just seen can make life a little bit more quiet if you start your day without your phone. So another aspect of morning rhythms that I've kind of noticed is either not adding any noise whatsoever first thing in the morning, whether that's music, podcast, again, totally not bad things, and I'm one to love that stuff. I sometimes get uncomfortable in my own headspace where it's just quiet, and so I always put things on. But I'm trying to learn is that it's okay to still and listen and kind of think about your day a little deeper, or talk to God, pray, just those simple little changes, but I feel has made such a difference already. And then if I do want to put music on, I normally put kind of quiet Christian music on, contemporary, just things that's a little low, because normally if I'm doing chores around the house, I'm listening to like Taylor Swift or indie music and things like that, and that can be very upbeat and loud, and those are music I feel that for me makes more sense like midday at night when I'm like doing something or making dinner, rather in the morning. It's more of a slow stillness I want to embody, because I think it really sets up the rest of the day. Another thing I've been trying to do in the morning is making matcha, and I love matcha. I'm actually not a caffeine girly. I wish I liked coffee, but I just don't like the taste of it. I would like a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of caffeine, and I actually personally love matcha. So I have been doing that in the morning, but really what's special about that is actually just like taking your time to make it. It really doesn't take me long at all, but not rushing it. And especially I am so rushing if I want my matcha before I start work at 8 a.m. I'm rushing it so much. I'm rushing everything in my morning. So that goes with another morning rhythm that I want to implement is challenging myself to wake up earlier. There may be a specific time that I'm like, okay, this is a great time to wake up to get ready for work and whatnot, but it would be even nicer if I wake up even a tad more earlier than that so I could prep myself for the rest of the day and having a very slow, fun morning. Sometimes I listen to this one podcast though, Morning with the Masters, and it's like a quick 5 to 7 minute devotional that sometimes I listen to if I'm doing my makeup, doing my skincare. That's another thing that I really do enjoy. It's still kind of quiet, it's restful, and I'm learning something. And lastly, but not least, in the morning rhythm section is having a quiet time. To me as a Christian, that's really important. It's something that is also really hard, especially when life gets busy. I don't want that to be an excuse for any everyday life. It could be so hard with everyday busy schedules, but I don't want that to keep me away from making it a priority, especially in the morning, because I think it really makes a great trajectory for the rest of your day. And I notice if I'm not in my word, it really like makes a difference in my day and even in my attitude some days, if I'm really being honest. And so that is my goal also for my morning rhythm, is to make that a priority and dive in God's word every day. Another rhythm I want to implement, kind of similar to what I mentioned earlier, but to create room for silence. And of course, like I said, podcasts, YouTube videos, all the things that I do a lot every day is not bad at all. But I think when I do take time to make room for silence, it really makes my day more calm and peaceful and gives me an opportunity to talk to God, to pray, to think about my goals for the week, to think about who I could be praying for that week, most importantly, and all of above. So that is another habit that I really want to make a point to focus on. The next habit is learning a new hobby. I have a lot of random hobbies I've been seeing lately that, like on TikTok or Instagram or such, other people doing it, and I think that's so interesting. Don't know if it's practical for the season I'm in now, but for example, like pottery and stained glass art, those things look so interesting to me. I don't know if right now that could be like a specific hobby I could dive into, because there's probably a lot of startup costs and all of that, but I think it's really important to use your hands and to do new things and to try new things, especially when it comes to a new year. But a hobby that's like current right now for me is definitely reading, and as simple as that may be, it has changed my night routine that I'll mention later in such a beautiful way. Like the other night, me and my husband were both we're both in our reading era, and it was so sweet to both have our reading lights on and just laying in bed reading our different books. And it has been such an amazing hobby to pick up again and start doing consistently. Another habit that goes right into that, very similar, but it's specifically replacing screen time and adding reading. So I think like that is a way where in the morning, yeah, I really don't want to be my phone. That's something I want to work on. At night, I also really don't want to be scrolling on TikTok till late hours of the night. I won't feel as bad if I maybe be staying up a little later than normal, but I'm into this book. Like last night, I finished Nightbane, and it was so good. I could not stop reading, and the ending, literally guys, the ending killed me, guys, but it was so fun to stay up a little later and finish a book, and rather than scrolling on TikTok like I do at night, and replacing it with reading. Another great habit or rhythm for a slow, quiet life is getting outside more, taking a walk, enjoying nature. I have a bad habit of when I'm driving around with my husband and I'm looking, normally I feel like I am doing something maybe productive or on my phone. Maybe I'm not, but I'm looking at my phone rather than looking outside through the window and whatnot. That's one thing I feel like work on. And of course, just going outside more, taking walks. It's a really beneficial way to enjoy a slow life. Lastly, but surely not least, is having night rhythms, just like we had morning rhythms, whether that's going to bed at a specific time, going to bed early, as you mentioned before, reading before bed rather than scrolling on your phone. What I have really been enjoying lately is doing my skincare, especially at night. Doing these type of rhythms at night before bed especially is a way to just calm yourself and quiet your mind so that you could have a peaceful sleep. And so those are my tips to have more of a slow, peaceful life, a quiet life. And I hope these habits and rhythms were helpful. I hope maybe you made note of some of them. Again, there are things that are very simple, but I feel like if we add them to our day-to-day life, it can make a really huge difference. And I've already seen it in my day-to-day. With that said, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below what habit or rhythm you're wanting to implement in the new year, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.